Today we're going to talk about preparing for your candidate hiring experience, which includes preparing the job description, compensation budget, duties and responsibilities of the candidate, what your goals are in making this hire, and how you intend to manage the new employee in your life. The job description is your important starting point because it helps you think through the duties and responsibilities of the role, think through what your goals are with making this hire, how the candidate who is going to be your employee will be held accountable and measurable for their performance, and it helps you reflect on the kind of person and personality that you're looking for in this critical hire. Preparing to hire is also a time for reflection and projection. Reflection comes from thinking about the role, why this job exists in the first place, what the activities, roles, and responsibilities are in the position, and how you intend to reward the candidate. In thinking about the projection of this key hire, that is what you'd like to accomplish, what your goals are with the hire, and how your business, your life, or your family will be better off with the right hiring decision. As you prepare to hire, you may wish to reach out to get a copy of our free complete guide to hiring private staff, or give us a call. We have compensation surveys, we have employment agreements, we have sample job descriptions, all of which we could share with you in order to help you get started on this important process. Today we'll cover how to find the right candidate for your position. There are many search options available, and the digital universe has certainly created a much more user-friendly experience to put your job out into the candidate world and to receive resumes for evaluation. Typical sources for candidate outreach include LinkedIn, Craigslist, your local newspaper, or putting the word out to your friends and family. If your need is just to hire a part-time housekeeper, that's probably done through your personal referral network. If your needs and your lifestyle are more complicated and you desire more privacy, then working through an established search firm who already has thousands of candidates in their database and will do the first step of candidate evaluation on your behalf and set up the interviews for you at your convenience is another option to go with as well. Today we'll talk about how to evaluate candidates so you can make the perfect hire. You've been through the job description, you've sourced candidates, you now have a pile of resumes on your desk. So how do you sort through those? Who do you decide to meet are all critical questions. As you compare the resumes to your job description and look at the relevant parts of that candidate's background and experience, it starts to form a picture of who that candidate is and how they would perform in your particular situation. You never want to be the only interviewer of a candidate. Select 2 or 3 other people as well that would interview that candidate so you could compare notes. And then set up a criteria checklist, pros and cons of each candidate, pluses and minuses, things that are important to maybe your budget, such as compensation, or important to your peace of mind, such as their previous experience in the role. And finally, chemistry, and chemistry are always the most important attributes in the final decision. In addition to the skills and experience of the candidate and the chemistry between you and the candidate, it's important to remember that a proper background check is key to hiring the person who you think you're hiring. Setting up a structure that protects your privacy and confidentiality, as well as your significant assets, are all things that should be put in place prior to the start date of that individual. At Angelo Mortimer, we're very helpful in helping you craft the job description, set up the ideal candidate interviews, and think through the feedback and the reactions that you get from meeting each candidate. You might find pros and cons with several different people, narrow down a list into a short list that you're going to make a final decision around, get into the further discussions about compensation, about the role and responsibilities, and then how you're going to be interacting with that candidate over the long run. Now that you've made a decision about the ideal candidate hire and you're getting ready to make your job offer, it's important to think through the next steps of engaging that employee over the longer term. And this includes compliance, administration, and management. Compliance is making sure that you have the right payroll and tax process set up to be in compliance with the IRS and state and local laws. Administration are the regular things that you want to have in place, such as a valid employment agreement that sets out the terms and conditions, including the severance of that particular employee. And finally, management. How are you going to be communicating? Who is their boss? How often will you be communicating? And how do you set up regular performance reviews in order to enhance their performance?